Hi, this is Jackie,
Hi, this is Diana.
and you're listening to Homebodies Only, where we welcome all bodies to join us as we break down and dissect shows that have been on HBO. Because
But
we
not
are
too long.
talking about Abbott Elementary season 2,
Hmm.
um, which has not yet been on HBO, but it will be. I have a feeling
Yeah.
on Max.
Hmm.
We are talking about episodes 3, Story Samurai, and episode 4, The Principal's Office.
Yes.
All right. So episode 3, um, I didn't I now I can't I don't think I Googled if Story Samurai was a real group.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I
I mean,
didn't
there's
think it
things like
was.
that,
Yes, there's
but
things like
yeah.
it, but so Janine is looking for her shawl and Mr. Johnson took it. By the way, it looks like a scarf. I don't think it's a
Yeah, the
shawl. Even
it
on
is a
her, I don't
scarf.
think it would be a shawl. Like she's
Hmm.
small, but I don't think so. Um, and then he's using it to clean.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. There's a magazine in there, and that was, like, weird, and Ava's on the cover, and it's called, like, Doomsday, but remember she's obsessed with, like, Doomsday, and she has, like, a bomb shelter or she has some sort of shelter, so
Yeah,
that was, like, a really quick thing, I don't know what happened there.
yeah.
Um, they are in the staff room, and they are all prepping before work because everyone needs to catch up. Now, if we were all prepping before work, we would not be all in the staff room together.
Mm-mm.
It is not very productive.
No.
You need to be in your room. Anyway, um, they're talking about, doing movie like, trying to play a movie so they can catch up, and then
Hmm.
there's Lego day. Melissa needs her large cup of coffee because, she's teaching 2 grades. By the way, just so you probably know this, but we recorded episodes 1 and 2 back in April.
Hmm.
And so it took a little to, like, like, get back in it in a way, but I did listen to our podcast about it, so I could well, obviously, because I was uploading, but I also had a cold, like, I clearly had a cold. Anyway.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we worked through it.
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a big hack. I think I cut it out, actually, of the audio part, at
Hmm.
least. It was bad. Okay.
Poor thing.
Um, Ava oh, Ava walks in, she talks about the Story Samurai group that is coming. And Ava references a campfire song group, which I thought was really funny because speak of the devil, I just did campfire songs at
Yes.
school. We had
Yes.
something called Camp Day,
Hmm.
which was started back in, well, it was 2021 actually, right? Because it was the fall of
Hmm.
2020 we started that school year, and that was a rough year in the right? Was it that year? No, wait, yes. Yes. And masks and all that fun stuff, and it was a tough year. So we did a camp day thing, and
Yeah.
I was asked to man the campfire. It's not a real fire, but what's funny is I probably sang one song. This is the 3rd year we've done it. This year was legit songs because I luckily had the music teacher there with her guitar,
Right.
and she basically ran the whole thing, and it was fantastic, and I just sang campfire songs. So anyway, thought that was
Did
kind of fun.
you did you use my campfire song suggestion from Matt?
What would
The
No, no,
button
she
factory?
she led the whole
She took
thing.
it.
She took
Okay.
it over, which I was gladly fine with.
Thank goodness.
I assisted and with the kids, but yeah, because she's a music teacher. I mean, she
That's
knows what she's doing.
her
She
niche.
can
I love it.
play instruments. All right.
Mhm.
Jacob is psyched because he used to be in it. And Ava says, "Oh, he gets like all excited." And Ava's like, "We can't afford having you having a seizure." And Greg
Yeah.
laughs. Greg laughs, and then she looks at Greg, and he's like, "Oh," because he laughed at her joke. That part, oh, that's
Yeah.
great. Melissa is struggling with the 2 grades, and Ava says she can get her an aide. Now, they keep calling them aides, and it's a really old fashioned term. Like, I even doubt it, in Philly they call them aides. It's called
Right.
teaching assistant, or you might have a monitor. right? Technically, it's a
Right.
monitor, or is it
Or they might call them
they say a one to
paraprofessionals.
paraprofessional. Yeah, but you are not
Mhm.
they do say one-to-one aid, though, when there's a one-to-one.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah.
this sounds like it'd be like a teaching assistant.
Yes. Yeah.
She needs someone to help her teach. Okay.
Right.
Where is it? Okay. Nope. She's tough, and also Barbara's kind of like, you don't need an aide and blah blah blah, and it's like
Mhm.
being stubbornly stupid, to be honest. Uh anyway, Story Samurai is there, and Janine says it's corny even for her.
Yeah.
She
That's
mentions the Degrassi reenact. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I don't know this stuff at all. I was Googling
okay.
it, and I know it's a
Degrassi
Canadian
was a Canadian.
Degrassi.
Yes.
Okay. Canadian teen
Yeah.
soap opera. And
Yes.
it kind of sounded like Saved by the Bellish, but maybe
Yes.
more serious or not.
And it was I wonder if it was more something that I remember not only from when it was
I'm too
out, but
old.
like my close proximity to Canada.
Oh, yeah.
So it was pretty popular where I grew up.
Okay.
So I was laughing at that
I
reference.
know I couldn't, that didn't, that was past me. I'd
Uh,
never heard of it. And Drake was
yeah.
in it?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause
I didn't know I don't
she made some
recall
kind
that,
of
but
joke.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but wait, isn't Drake Oh, no, Drake is executive producer to Euphoria. I'm getting, like, mixed up now with all my
Yeah,
shows here.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
"Isn't
yeah.
Drake
No.
executive producer of Abbott Elementary?" No,
Yeah.
it's Euphoria, I believe.
I mean, that was like a really long time ago. But oh my gosh, I was laughing.
What's funny is they reference things from, like, I feel like my
Mhm.
generation, or my not my generation, but my years of stuff, like the music and everything, but then they reference this where because I think she's closer to your age. Well, I think in real life, she's
Janine?
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
in real life, though, she's probably 30-ish, early 30. I know I looked it up at one point. Just have to
Mhm.
say, speaking of Janine, who was played by Quinta Brunson, who freaking, like, created this show and starred in it, actually looked at our story the other day. I tagged her, and I was like, "Are you kidding?" I was, like, shaking. She did not mention it in her story, but that's why she might have hit it, by mistake. It's off season right
We'll
now.
take it.
She's probably not getting tagged that much. I have no
No.
clue what happened, but I died. I died. I sent it to Diana. I circled her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
We were
OMFG.
very excited.
Um, like, she got interviewed by Oprah. I mean, this is, like,
Mhm.
to me, probably one of the biggest people to actually look at our
Well,
story, right?
it's neat to know that perhaps there was a little smidge of a moment where she's like, "Oh,
Oh,
like there's
there's
people
a
talking about
podcast.
the show. That's great.
Yeah.
That's, yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just spreading around."
Maybe she took a little listen. I don't know. Maybe she's
Who knows?
listening right now. Maybe she's
Yeah.
addicted because someone is binging Abbott Elementary episodes from first season.
Yeah.
Because
It's
I can see
probably
it.
her, clearly.
Also, Sex Lives of College Girls is being binged. Also, season.
Such
Now
a
I
good
can't
show.
remember which season.
Wait, is that
Anyway,
coming
sorry.
back? Sorry, off
What do you
topic.
mean?
Is it
Not until fall.
when is it? Oh, okay,
It's
yeah.
always
I was
around. Well,
trying to
thanks.
remember when.
It's always the first two
Yeah.
seasons were around Thanksgiving.
Oh, right. And then it's supposed to be in the winter. There was a whole thing. Never mind. We're gonna
Yeah,
get
whole discussion.
really hot later.
There'll be I'm pretty sure they already know there'll be a season 3. And, well, I mean, we've had people from Somebody Somewhere also look at stories, and I've interacted with them, and which is really very cool. Bridget Everett has not looked at one. Okay, that's all I have to say.
She's
I mean,
busy.
Quinta Brunson looked at it. Sam Everett, Bridget Everett can look at one. Anyway,
Yeah.
I digress. Okay, I'm just getting shooken up again about it. Okay,
So you were talking about
sorry,
Degrassi and like the references
Degrassi.
in regards to your generation versus mine or whatever have you. Um, for the listeners, by the way, we're only like 7 years apart,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, but still, that's
but
pretty.
you actually, I think,
Yeah,
because of your sister, you listen to a lot of the
correct.
same music I did, and there is a difference with timing. Like, I was, like, in my 20s, you were in college. Like,
Exactly.
I watched Sex and the Cities in my 20s
Right, and I was in
into my
college in high school.
30, or, like, close to
Yeah.
30, and you were in, yeah. So it's
Then
different.
didn't they reference living single too?
Yes.
I was like,
I didn't really watch that, I don't think.
wasn't I'm gonna get this wrong. Living Single, was this the spinoff of the older chicks in the Cosby Show, or am I thinking of what was the spinoff when they went to college?
Oh, that was Real World or something like that.
Real World.
It's
Yes.
World, it's a different world.
Different
Different
world.
world. I
Yes.
loved that show. Oh,
I
I love Dwayne
loved it.
Wayne. What was his name? Dwayne
Yes.
Wayne? Dwayne Wayne. My god. I loved
It was
because it
so
was Lisa
good.
Bonet, right? Didn't
Yeah,
she?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I loved
Yeah, I think
her.
yeah.
I wanted to
They
be
still
her.
play the reruns and
Do
oh,
they?
so
I wanted to
so
be
good.
her. I loved her clothes. Oh, and then she married Lenny Kravitz. I was like, then she married Jason
Mm,
Momoa. I mean, but then they
mhm.
divorced. What the
I
heck? Anyway,
know, I know. That's a bit.
okay. Okay. Anyway.
Um, but the whole
Hmm.
like chatting in the hallway I think this goes into that scene, right? Where they're like chatting. I'm like, who's watching the class? I
Oh,
could be getting ahead of
yeah. Let me
myself,
see
but
where I am first. Okay.
yeah.
What the heck do I got
They do
going
that a
here?
lot where
Stories?
they're
Yeah,
just
but then they're
like
like, "Can
hanging
you
out in the
watch my
hallway.
class for me?" But like,
But
then
who's
who's watching
watching
it
your
right
class?
now?
If they watch your class,
I know.
then who's watching the other class?
Yeah,
You know,
it's very unrealistic. They need a teach. They need teaching assistants.
they
Sorry,
need teaching
they do.
assistants. Yeah.
Um. Okay. Story Samurai asks Jacob to join them for the next performance. They are all psyched. Like the staff and faculty, whatever, are all psyched because
Mhm.
they think it's going to be hysterical, except Janine. Then I have Slack channel with a question mark. I have no clue what that. Somebody must have said that, and I don't know. I didn't know what they were talking about.
Something. I mean, I have a reference here. It says my match story exclamation point. I have no idea why I wrote that. I have no idea what my match story is. I doubt I was never on Match,
Hmm.
so it's not Match
Right.
like the dating app. So I have no idea. I sometimes I write notes like that are like, oh
I
yeah,
do,
that'll like trigger me to tell you
and I
something.
just, yeah, we both like just watched this
Yes,
recently, so I don't know
yesterday.
what's wrong with us. Okay,
Oh
Janine
God.
convinces Jacob not to do it. Says he doesn't. Says like you're gonna upstage them. That's her whole
Yeah,
angle.
yeah.
Um, Melissa is having a hard. I already have that again. Oh, it's stressing. It was stressing me out just watching her. Like it
Hmm.
was really bothering me that she had two grades
Hmm.
in her class. Greg knock. This is the part. Greg knocks on Janine's wall. I thought that was cute.
Uh-huh.
Then he comes over, I think, and she tells Greg, oh, she convinced Jacob not to do it. And Ava hears and then references McDonald's. And she's like, it's like the time last week, she wouldn't pretend she was my daughter so I could get a Happy Meal. Guess what? Anybody can buy a Happy Meal. My mom
Yeah,
buys Happy Meals
yeah. Why not?
because it's less like, I mean, not all the time, but like she'll get it
Yeah,
because it's a less, it's a Weight Watchers trick, I guess.
and she wants the toy to give to her
Well, of
husband
course.
because
Well,
he needs
she
toys
probably wants to keep it.
for
No,
collecting.
just
I mean,
kidding.
if they had like the legit back in the day toys,
Oh,
I
they're
would be
so
ordering a
good.
Happy Meal. Those
They were
toys were
so good.
awesome when we were
They're
kids.
still like, they're selling them on eBay and they're good
Hmm.
quality. They're good quality stuff.
Yes.
Even actually, even pre-COVID, they were pretty good. Like ever since COVID, I don't know what. I mean, it's
But
gotten
I
worse,
mean, like
but they
the
were way
little
back in the
chicken
day.
nugget figure, right? We had like I remember the chicken nugget. I had
I know.
like the McDonald's. I don't know cup with with a happy face
Like you
on it,
could
or
like they were
yeah,
good quality toys.
they really were, and they were adorable. Like they
Yeah.
were collector
Yeah. Oh
type
yeah.
items.
Oh yeah.
This whatever Jacob Devin, I mean, my
Ugh.
youngest will be like, can we'll get the bundle deal now because it's like the same thing without a toy but a little cheaper or whatever. But anyway, I'm like,
No, the
we'll
toy
get
is
the toy
junk.
once in a while. I'm like, what is this? What it doesn't do anything. It like
No,
it's not
it's
even like a
terrible.
collectible type. It's
No. The
yeah.
pre-COVID, they had Toy Story 4 that you
Mm,
put all the parts together, all the characters, and it turned into the camper. Actually, Donovan, I
that could
ended
be
up
cool.
getting them off of eBay to get him all the pieces together
Yeah,
because I was a
yeah.
little, he was obsessed and so was I.
Mm,
Um,
but
okay.
anyway,
So, oh, Happy Meal thing. Melissa comes out of the classroom and punches the cardboard samurai figure's head off. Jacob tells the samurai group he's not going to do it, but then Ava calls an all school assembly for him. And forgot to mention. So they say that Josh Gad was in the Story Samurai group. And do you know who Josh Gad is?
no.
Oh, he was Olaf's
Oh.
voice in you're not
Oh.
Frozen, but he's done other stuff. He as soon as you see him, you'd be like, "Oh, yeah." He was in, the movie about oh my gosh, now I can't remember. It was one of those tech movies. He could have played somebody. It could have been either the movie, like, that was, like, about Facebook or
Oh.
I'm gonna screw this up, or the movie about, like, Steve Jobs. Like, it's one of those, and he was in
Oh.
you as soon as you see him, you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, he looks familiar." But see,
Mhm.
you weren't really a Frozen person, so I'm like,
No.
"How do you not know who Josh Gad is? He's
Oh.
Olaf." Anyway, okay. I follow him on Instagram too, so I love Josh Gad. Okay. I'm sure he's been in other stuff too. I'm messing it up. I'm sure he's been in other stuff. Okay. Ava's gonna live stream it. Janine tells him he shouldn't perform, tells him he's corny, like finally just tells him the truth. He keeps saying things that like a corny like he's like, I would a corny person do this or whatever it was always
Mhm.
corny. I just put blah blah blah. He's
Isn't this
shocked.
wh is this where they
What?
reference, like, Michelle Pfeiffer and Dangerous Minds? He's like, "You're gonna like, you're"
Yeah.
great movie, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That song
Ava
brings me
offers
back.
hair and makeup
Yeah, why not?
for Jacob. Then he decides not to do it. Ava's pissed. She said Pop Tarts was going to sponsor it,
Oh my
the live
gosh.
stream. Barbara brings in the head of the samurai to Melissa's class. The whole class is like, ooh. And Barbara
Mhm.
convinces her to get an aide. Greg and Janine are talking, and Greg asks if basically Jacob wanted to do it. And he says,
Mhm.
I don't know why you would stop him from being him. I was like, oh.
Hmm.
And that it would be funny. No. The samurai, okay, this part. I think I had to watch it a few times. Samurai are introducing themselves, and the white dude is named Tyrone, and then Ava's like, he just ruined my favorite Erica Badu song. Now, I messed up. So here's what happened. I had just watched these episodes, and then I
Yeah.
published episodes 1 and 2, and I put in the Tyrone song for episodes 1 and 2 on our story,
Okay.
and it didn't even hit me. I mean, till hours later. I was like, I went to my nephew's confirmation, and I was like, "Oh my god, I referenced the wrong song."
Whoops-a-daisy.
People who know the show are probably like, but I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
it'd be perfect now for this one," but now I feel like I
right.
can't reference.
Mm.
I don't know why that struck me so. She says things so fast, and you're like, I, I,
Maybe you can
I did have to
associate
watch
with
it a few
Ronnie.
times. I liked her
Have a little
face.
Coolio.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll play Coolio. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Um, Clarence, one of Jacob's students, says, "I thought you were going to go up there, Mr. C." And then
Mm.
we talked to Clarence. Clarence says it would have been mad funny to see him up there, and Clarence says that's why they call him Mr. C because he's corny. But he says he likes his class because he's fun, and he showed him a good movie. I don't even know if I don't know what movie it was or whatever. And he says he's cool. He even says that. So it was cute.
Mm.
Janine
Okay.
suggests that Jacob goes up there when they're asking for suggestions, and he does. So then he's a tiger whose dad thinks he's a bum, and Jacob ends up like saying he is corny. Ava gets 2,000 new followers. Everyone's saying how funny it was.
Yeah.
Jacob asks Janine if she thinks they'll ever know how corny they are. Oh, the samurai group, whatever. She says no,
Mm.
because they'll never stay in one place long enough to make a connection with someone who will tell them. Aw. By the
Mm.
way, too, I forgot, like, there's a part where Jacob's talking to them, and they're
Mhm.
like, I think they're praising him about the connection or him being a teacher. And I think he
Mhm.
says something about them being teachers. Is that the part? And they're like, does he say something about them? Like, you ever think about going into teacher? Or am I just making this
Oh,
up?
no, 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 no. Yes, they had a conversation, you're right, and they said something about but what did they say? Oh my gosh.
That they wanted to keep
Uh,
moving or something
yes,
like that?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. It was almost like that
Like the
seems like
foreshadow to what
pretty
Janine's.
like, I that
Yeah.
y like, I gotta move on from that. I'd have to that's not good
Mm-hmm.
enough.
Right.
Like
Right.
you're
Right. Right.
stuck in it. Ooh.
Yes. Where Janine says, they wouldn't stay somewhere long enough to make a connection
Mhm,
for someone to be
mhm.
honest.
Mm.
Um, Mr. Johnson is still wearing the scarf, we're going to call it. Melissa gets an aide, and her name is Ashley. Waiting for Ashley. That was terrible.
It was
She
awful.
forgot to put on the boombox.
It was
Samurai's
terrible.
still in the hallway. They can't get them to leave.
Mhm.
And then Greg says they must be V-gens. I'm not saying the word.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was time to go.
Episode 4. Are we
The
ready
only thing
for
we didn't get to
episode
talk
what?
about in episode 3 was the bathtub full of prosecco. That actually sounded amazing.
Oh, why did they say that now?
It was what's her name? Melissa.
Was it Melissa? Oh, because
Yeah.
she needs it because of the teaching the 2
She
grades?
said
I
something
can't
about like
remember.
I don't know if Janine was like saying like, "Oh, I had to tell you something." I don't know, it was like a comment back about a
Mhm.
bathtub full of
Full of
prosecco.
prosecco. Yeah.
And it's like, actually that sounds amazing. Or just a bathtub with a glass of prosecco.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd wanna be in the prosecco.
No, no, a nice bubbly. Yeah. They have
It could smell
at
like prosecco.
look at the spa. They have they call it the Aqua Terrace at the Mirabelle
Mhm.
Spas,
Mhm.
where you can get like, like a drink or something. And they'll get I like to get a glass of prosecco or like a mimosa
Mm.
and just sit there in the bubbles with it
Yeah,
and drink my
that's
bubbles,
nice. Nice.
having the bubbles.
Be in bubbles, drink bubbles.
Why not?
Why not? Okay.
Episode 4.
Yeah. Episode 4, I'm not gonna do the transition sound, I don't think. I mean, I could. I think it'll lose its luster if I keep doing it. For those of you who don't watch Somebody Somewhere or listen to us, I used this cool sound effect that I was very proud of
Really,
because it was the
state of
first
the
time I've
art.
ever done that.
Really,
Went
full
zoom.
Hogan.
And you got very excited, which made it even
I was
better.
very excited.
Yeah. Okay, so the beginning of this episode is called The Principal's Office. Barbara is
Mhm.
singing Happy Birthday and she's just going off. It is hysterical. She's like,
All right,
Happy.
Whitney.
What? What'd you
I
say?
said, all right, Whitney.
Yes. And
It's
she's like,
great.
oh, yeah. And the kids are like, oh my God. It was great. But there's teachers like that. I mean,
Oh yeah.
we don't even do that.
Mm-mm.
Usually it's because we both, sing karaoke and love to sing, but
Mm.
I don't even do that stupid stuff.
Yeah,
But
that was magical.
um, yeah. Okay. So blah 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 blah. Greg has a student named Micah who calls out randomly. There's behaviors going on here.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what to do about him. Kid's obsessed with Bluey, who I think is a little old to be obsessed with Bluey.
I
Isn't Bluey
thought it was a
like
little.
preschool?
Yeah,
And
maybe kindergarten at
Greg teaches first grade.
first grade. I
Yeah.
don't know many first graders that are in it, but then when I was figuring out what it was Bluey, I was like, is this like the equivalent of Caillou like 10 years ago? Remember Caillou?
Oh, we've talked
Yeah.
about Caillou in another
But
episode.
Bluey,
I
I
don't know
think,
why.
isn't like that, right? I don't
No,
watch it. It's cute, right?
no, it's cute. Yeah, I think just it's
Okay.
annoying that he keeps referencing Bluey.
And it's like one of
Um,
the most popular shows out right now for kids, right? That like there's toys out. That's like a whole thing,
oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but
right?
this is
Okay.
definitely for, like, preschool.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
pretty at
yeah,
least,
yeah.
I mean, at
That's
most.
right. It's like mid
Whatever.
junior,
Yeah.
if it's
Blah,
new,
blah,
you know.
blah, 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 blah. Okay, kids obsessed with staff room. Janine's been talking about her ex a lot, and she also has, like, gross food.
Mm.
She has pork
Mm.
rinds on top
Oh,
of ramen. I mean, even for me, that's gross. 'Cause I feel like
did,
I love salt,
was
but
it?
I think it was pork rinds
Is
on
that what
top
she
of
was
ramen.
scooping in there? I thought she was scooping peanut butter out of a jar. I was like, what is that?
Wait a minute, because they said something about is that pork rinds? Unless she
Yeah, I
had
thought
pork
it was
rinds
in the
also.
like
Don't tell me she had
thing, and
peanut butter, pork
I don't
rinds.
know. It's what it looked like because she was scooping it.
I've heard
Whatever. It was
that peanut
disgusting.
butter and bacon is very good, but pork
Oh,
rinds,
I don't
and I
know.
think I told the story about my pork rinds. I think
Hmm.
for an And Just Like That episode, I was talking about
Yeah.
something. Or no, it could have been Sex Lives College Girls. That at the time I was eating, I wanted these pork rinds. I had been imbibing a lot, and I said, tastes like bacon. No, it doesn't. That moment I thought it
Not
did, but anyway, I don't know.
mm,
Now I feel like I have to go back and look at what she was doing because I
you
didn't see
do.
that jar. I saw the ramen and I saw her hands, and then I heard somebody say, "What is
Maybe I don't
this?"
know. I don't know pork rinds in a jar really, but I'm
No, I've never heard. No, pork rinds aren't
Philly.
usually in a jar. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
No.
Okay, gross. Um, okay. Da, 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 da. Okay, here we go. Her mom never taught her or her sister how
Mhm.
to cook. Then Mr. Johnson goes, "So everybody's got a sister now, huh?" And he gets all mad. I don't understand what that was, but it was funny. So he like pushed the
Oh.
mop handle.
Yeah, always, always. He's the
I
best.
don't know what that was about. Then Melissa offers to teach her to cook. Jacob invites himself. Greg
Yeah,
Greg is stressed
sounds
out
like a
about
great night.
Micah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Jacob tells him to send him to the principal's office, and Greg thanks him. Then he drinks Greg's tea. Sorry, Jacob drinks Greg's tea, like by mistake.
Yeah.
That was great. We're at Melissa's house, and her cousin is Vin Diesel. Like in the picture. You know what's funny is I
Yeah.
watched that episode twice. The first time around, I didn't catch that, so that was
Yeah.
pretty funny. Her
Right
cousin
in the picture
Vinny.
frame.
um,
Yeah.
Duh. She's got a salty mouth at home. Of course she does. She's
Oh,
cursing. It's blurred out. It's
I
great.
love it.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Janine bought a shallot instead of a red onion. So Jacob offers to get an onion, and he likes to do up buying, where he haggles by offering more money for
Mhm.
items. Okay.
Yeah.
Janine starts talking about her own sister and starts to get upset. Melissa doesn't want to talk about her sister. Apparently, they're not talking. We first hear it's because of food that she brought to her nanny's
The
wake.
right?
First of all, why isn't she called Nonna? Right? They called her nanny,
Mm.
right? Nonni or Nonna. I mean, that Nona. That's
Mhm.
Italian for grandma.
Yeah, that's
So
what my kids
they
call
messed
her.
that one up.
Nonna.
Yeah, that's what my mom
Nonna.
is, and that's what her mom was to me.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll be that someday too.
Aw.
Okay.
Slow down the
I know. Slow down.
parenting train, will you?
Yeah, I will. Um, what am I doing here?
I
Spanish?
like the
Where?
music at the house. I'm always down for some jams
Oh, she
while
was
we
playing.
cook.
Yeah.
We
Was
had
she
like a
playing jazz?
theme. It was like I don't know if it was like a jazz or like a just like a Sinatra type,
Mm.
like but like mellow or like an
Yep.
Italian. So the other night, the kid like they all had baseball, and it was Meat Sauce Monday. You know I love a good theme. So it was
Yeah.
Meat Sauce Monday, and I tried to time it for them to be the home, and the practice ran late. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna put on some like Italian music
Mm.
so that when they come up, like there'll be the Italian music playing and I'll have like all the food out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They actually enjoyed it.
Aw, that's
Even
cute.
my oldest was like, "This, I actually like this music more than that other stuff you play." I'm like,
Oh.
"Thanks for the compliment slash feedback, I suppose."
Slash
He's
insult.
not a fan of
Slash
my music.
insult.
That's okay.
It's all
It
right.
was fun.
Yeah. Cute. Aw.
Do you
Um,
listen to music while you cook?
First of all, I don't like to cook. But
Oh,
if I
yeah.
do have to cook, I did actually make chicken parm the other night, which
Mm-hmm.
seriously is it's not complicated, but there's so many
Oh,
steps.
steps.
It's so messy. And I'm not a neat freak, but I don't like I'm like like the
It takes up like the
breading
whole kitchen. It's a
it
whole
takes up the
thing.
whole kitchen. I have a small kitchen. And then
Yeah.
you're worried because there's raw egg and raw chicken hanging around each other and you're like
Mm-hmm.
gross. Anyway, and they
Yeah.
always any recipe I've done, and I should learn my lesson, they always call for way more breadcrumbs than you actually use. I end up
Mm-hmm.
always dumping out breadcrumbs. I don't. So I have next time. No, not doing that. It's such a waste.
Do you
Anyway.
pound your chicken?
Oh yeah, I pound it.
Yeah. I like a thin cutlet myself. Oh,
What do you pound it with?
we're pretty plant-based around here these days, but I would actually grab my thoughts here. I think I have like a meat tenderizer, but it would like I don't do
I
like a
don't know what
real big.
happened to our meat
I
tender.
use a frying pan. What do you do? Do you,
The other
have you
day I
played with a
did it.
frying?
I actually took a garlic mincer because they're heavy. They're heavy, so I was like,
Oh, it's the best.
it's good.
So yeah,
Woo! That was a surprise.
that was spicy.
That
All
was.
right, back
Okay.
to the cooking.
Where am I? Well, so then she brings up okay, the
Yeah, it's like
food
a
thing.
whole
Okay,
development
next
drama.
day. They go to the next day, which I was a little
Oh,
disappointed. Oh my God, my
um,
home phone's ringing.
who has a home phone? Who
My
calls you there?
landline. I knew it. It's my in-laws.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
hi.
cute.
Oh,
I
tell me
hope.
an answering machine's
Okay.
gonna kick
It's.
in. That would be
Oh my
better.
God. Oh my God. No. Why isn't anybody getting it? Okay, he got it. Oh, if you. Oh gosh,
So,
you would hear my in-laws.
please.
My mother-in-law would be like,
No, not
"Hello,
that. I need to be
hello." No, you wouldn't hear the answering machine message. You would just hear her talking. Whew, oh, we
sorry.
got we got a lot going
This is
on
a this is
today,
a wild night
tonight.
here.
Wild night. Okay. Okay, where am I? Oh, so then they go to the next day. I was a little disappointed. I wanted to kind of see more of the house. I mean, I know we go back there
Mhm,
again to Melissa's house, but I kind of was like,
mhm,
what? Like they just didn't show them cooking. I don't know. I was a little disappointed. Um, so Janine brings up her sister again, and Janine wants to reunite them. Greg sends Micah to the principal's office reunite, and asks Janine to help him. Oh, because
mhm,
that's the part where he's like, "Can you watch my class?" Like the whole thing. She does not agree with him sending him there. Miss
mhm.
Johnson walks by. He's like, "Are you gonna fight? Looks like you're gonna fight." He's like, "Class is great, basically without Micah." Then Micah
Yeah.
comes back. He has like a toy, so then everyone else wants to get sent to the principal's office. The whole thing. Then they're in the staff room. Jacob tells him that Ava doesn't discipline the kids. It's just a way of like getting more control of your class, and getting a break, basically.
Yeah.
Um, Then Greg starts talking about his childhood, and he basically got punished for being a child. But he calls himself a well adjusted man.
Yeah.
Then Greg wants Barbara to get Ava to discipline the students.
Mhm.
Ava calls him to her office over the loudspeaker, and everyone's like, ooh. And she says, right, like, isn't that humiliating? And isn't it humiliating enough for the kid to like walk to her office, and that
Mhm.
she's trying to tune out the sobbing child because she's watching Below Deck? But it did see like that made sense, like for her not to
Sure.
be, like that. But she's also not support. I don't know the whole thing.
She didn't
There's
understand.
certain things kids really, I think in our school, go to the principal. I mean, they have to be putting their hands on somebody.
Yeah.
It's got to be pretty bad.
It's
It's
gotta be something that's been
this would
happening
have
for
never. This wouldn't have gotten. This kid wouldn't have gotten sent to the office.
No, no, he would have been brought to RTI. We would have talked
Hmm.
about, like, how we can
Behavior
provide
plans.
interventions and
Yep.
what plan, and
Yep.
I would have incorporated a Bluey token economy.
So I was just
That
gonna
would have
say a
always
reward
been
system,
all over
which
it.
he did not do, but
But he later he had
well, he
he
did. He
has
has Bluey in there, but yeah,
it's like a theme. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, I liked it.
yeah. It's cute. We're back at Melissa's. Janine made gnocchi and dropped it off at Krista Marie's school and signed it like it was from Melissa. So
Yeah.
Krista Marie brings it there and says, "Are you trying to effing poison me?" So she's like cursing. They start insulting the food. Krista shows them the note. Melissa figures out who it is because the eye has a heart over
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
in sister, right? Greg. Then we go back to Greg is what is this? Why do I have Greg is
Is
being
this where
trained by Mr. Johnson? Oh, he's trying to train
oh,
his voice.
he
Sorry,
was
he's going. That's
right.
enough.
His
That's
his dad
enough.
his not his dad voice, his whatever voice, right? His
Yeah,
dad voice? I don't know what he
yeah.
called it.
I kind of cut out like basically the whole scene between Krista Marie and Melissa. They
Mhm.
basically went back and
Yes.
forth, and Melissa,
Yeah.
what we find out, like insults her at the end. She's like, "Wait, one thing." She's like, "Your roots are showing." Anyway, um, yeah. So the next day, like I said, Greg's being trying to get his voice deeper, and Mr. Johnson's helping him. Then Barbara comes in and says that students can either respect you or fear you. Greg realizes discipline was not good for him as a child. Then Melissa
Mhm.
comes in. She's very peed off. Janine apologizes to her for meddling, but she just misses her own sister. Melissa explains the reason she's not speaking. She's mad at her basically is
Yeah.
because once her Nana, or I have Nana here now. my dad's mother, we called her Nana,
Mhm.
Polish one. Because once she got sick, Krista, it sounds like, couldn't take it and just like
Kinda,
didn't
like,
help.
disappeared. Right.
Didn't help. Yeah.
Right.
So she had to do everything.
Mhm.
That makes more sense than the
Yes.
food.
Correct.
Um, she asks Janine, I love this part. She asks Janine to come over again, but Jacob's not invited. Then they cut to him so fast and he's like, "Oh, I'm not
I'm not
invited." I mean, it
invited.
was just so quick like that. Those are my favorite things. Where you're
Mhm.
like, "What just happened?"
Mhm. Yeah.
um, we see Greg. Micah interrupts again. Greg turns over the easel and there's Bluey in the
I love it.
lesson.
Bluey
And
Stevens.
Ava is flirting with Greg as they're leaving that day. And
So inappropriate.
like this would just never fly. The things she
No.
says to him.
No.
Um, says he could stop by her office, blah blah blah, and then he says he'd have to be high. I just wrote, this is so messed up. So,
Yeah.
because she's like, he had paperwork or whatever, and she's like, this is not working. I don't know what she says, but it's like after work Ava, or I don't know what she
Yeah.
says,
Yeah.
not work Ava anymore. So she says, drop it off in her office. So he goes there to drop it off and then sits in her chair, and he's like, obviously picturing himself. Then his
Mhm.
dad calls and he's like, "What's up, Pops?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, Lieutenant Colonel, sir."
Yeah.
Then they cut to Melissa, who's drunk,
Uh-huh.
drinking like her red wine, and
Uh-huh.
she's looking at the lovely pictures in her home of
She's got a
usual
lot of photos.
lot of photos.
Like a lot.
And she's reminiscing, and there's a picture of her like pretending to punch
Yeah.
Krista and Krista Marie, not Krista, Krista Marie. Yeah, and that was that.
And that was it.
Do
That
you
was
know I
good. I don't know.
watched
Did
what?
you like both episodes or one over the other?
Oh, it's funny. When I watched these two a while ago, the first time.
Mhm.
And then I didn't love them, but then I liked them better this time. It was so weird. I don't know. But I don't know which one I liked.
There was
Probably
some
the
funny
Story
parts.
Samurai one, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
I actually put I thought I liked the second one better. I don't know.
I don't know now.
I liked episode 4. Although there was some funny like references in the third episode. There was just I don't know. But we've said that before when we watch them in twos,
Usually
we
there's
always pick
one
one that
that's
we kind of like more.
what, I think the first time I watched it, I didn't love the Story Samurai thing
Yeah.
because they annoyed me a little bit. I'm not
Yeah, it
sure.
was kind of like annoying. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Um Maybe because I had like a little break from the show. I was like, "Oh, these were funny."
Mhm. Yeah, we were
Yeah, I
on a
don't know.
different path
Nah,
for a
yeah,
while.
maybe I like the principal's office better. There's
Mhm.
always these just like little bits in some of them that I'm just like, "Oh my god, that was hysterical." Jacob is like, he kills me. His facial
Yeah.
expressions are so
Yeah.
good. Um, I guess that's it. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Look at us.
So,
Short and sweet.
mhm.
We'll be back.
Hey, if you're listening on the podcast through the
Yeah.
podcast thing stuff platforms,
Mhm.
give us 5 stars. I'm not gonna say some. Either give us 5 or none because I don't.
It's all or nothing
If
over
you're
here.
listening and you listen to the whole episode and you're listening to more than one episode, then come on, give
Mhm.
us 5. Um, please. And if you're watching on YouTube, definitely comment. I love to chat. I love to chat it up. Clearly, if you're a big Abbott Elementary fan, you've probably watched this entire season already and know
Mhm.
what's going to happen. We do not. I'm a big fan, though.
I have
Not that I'm
not.
not a fan. What?
I haven't watched ahead.
No, I haven't either. No.
Yeah.
But now we can watch 5
Um,
and 6.
5 and 6 next. Next
Yeah.
up. So stay tuned.
There's like 22 episodes, did I say?
Oh my gosh. We got a lot of work to do.
We did. That's okay. Summer's coming. We're going to do. And just like that, we got this.
Mhm. Totally.
My hair's frizzing
I'm
out.
fresh out of the shower.
Yours is wet. Mine's
I
just
know. It's like,
frizzy. We have the worst air quality of our lives going on right now
yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
The the smoke from some fires in Canada have
Yeah.
engulfed our community. The kids couldn't play outside today.
Mhm.
It's very scary,
Yeah, everybody was told to stay inside. It's
but at
really
least we
bad.
can do our podcast.
Thank goodness. So there's that. All
All right. All
right.
right.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.